Welcome to Concrete Block, the podcast where we dive into the latest news and current events from around the world. As we start this episode, we want to take a closer look at the ongoing conflict between Iran and the United States, as well as its allies. The situation has been escalating over the past few weeks, with both sides engaging in airstrikes and drone attacks. The U.S. has been planning to send thousands of airborne troops to the Gulf, giving President Trump more options for a potential ground assault. Meanwhile, Iran's neighbor Pakistan has offered to host talks between senior U.S. officials and Iranian representatives as early as this week. There have been reports of a proposal that includes removing Iran's stocks of highly enriched uranium, halting enrichment, curbing its ballistic missile program, and ending funding for regional allies. However, it's unclear whether Iran is willing to negotiate, with some officials denying any talks are taking place and others expressing skepticism about the U.S.'s intentions. Israel has also been involved in the conflict, with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's security cabinet being briefed on the proposal. Israel has expressed concerns that the terms of the proposal may not be sufficient to address its security concerns and has emphasized the need to preserve its option to conduct pre-emptive strikes. As the situation continues to unfold, financial markets have seen a respite in recent days, following President Trump's announcement of productive talks with Iranian officials. However, it's essential to note that Iran has consistently maintained that no such talks have taken place, and the accuracy of this claim remains unclear. We'll continue to monitor the situation and provide updates as more information becomes available. For now, it's crucial to consider multiple perspectives and sources to gain a comprehensive understanding of this complex and evolving conflict. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We're continuing our discussion on the ongoing developments in the Middle East. As the situation with Iran continues to unfold, Secretary of State Marco Rubio is set to travel to France to meet with G7 foreign ministers and discuss the U.S. strategy in the region. The goal of this meeting is to address the concerns of America's allies and garner support for the U.S.-led efforts. According to reports, the talks will focus on key areas such as the Russia-Ukraine conflict, the Middle East situation, and global threats to peace and stability. However, it's worth noting that many G7 nations have been hesitant to get involved in the U.S.-Israeli military operation against Iran, with some even declining to participate. President Trump has stated that the U.S. and Iran have had discussions, although Tehran has denied this. The conflicting accounts have added to the complexity of the situation, making it challenging to determine the best course of action. As the global community continues to navigate this crisis, it's essential to consider multiple perspectives and work towards a resolution that promotes peace and stability in the region. The U.S. has faced criticism from some of its allies for not providing a clear strategy or seeking international cooperation before taking action. In response, President Trump has emphasized that the U.S. doesn't need the help of other countries to achieve its objectives. Nevertheless, the involvement of other nations could potentially facilitate a more effective and sustainable solution. As we move forward, it's crucial to prioritize diplomacy and constructive dialogue. The meeting between Secretary Rubio and G7 foreign ministers is an opportunity for the U.S. to address concerns, build alliances, and work towards a unified approach to resolving the crisis. Welcome back to Concrete Block. Today, we're discussing the complex relationship between British Prime Minister Keir Starmer and U.S. President Donald Trump. The two leaders have been at odds over the recent conflict with Iran, with Trump criticizing Starmer for not providing enough support. Despite this, Starmer has maintained that he is focused on what's best for Britain, even if it means disagreeing with his American counterpart. The situation has sparked a lot of debate, with some arguing that Starmer is being too soft on Trump, while others see him as standing up for British interests. It's worth noting that the UK and US have a long history of cooperation, and their special relationship is built on mutual benefits such as trade and security. However, the current tensions between the two leaders have raised questions about the future of this relationship. Starmer's decision to allow American bombers to launch defensive strikes against Iran from UK bases has been seen as a compromise, but it's also sparked concerns about the potential consequences of escalating the conflict. As the situation continues to unfold, it's clear that both leaders are walking a fine line. Trump's criticism of Starmer has given the Prime Minister some political cover, allowing him to create distance between himself and the White House. But at the same time, Starmer needs to be careful not to damage the UK's relationship with the US, which is crucial for trade and security. Ultimately, the key to resolving this situation will be finding a balance between standing up for British interests and maintaining a strong relationship with the US. It's a delicate task, but one that's essential for the future of both countries. That's all for today's Concrete Block. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay informed.